Hey guys, how you doing today? I don't know how quick this is going to be, but I got like a bunch of questions about quite a few things. So I'm going to try to get them all in here to answer them. And I hope this helps some people with their questions. First, I want to show you so far. This is kind of where I'm at with my, let's see, I don't know how far back I can get him here. There he is. He is on his little, I don't know so much you have to see me. He's on his coffin. And with his red heart. I don't know why my lights flicker in here. I have my blinds open and it's all like no wind. But, yep, he's on there. So I'm very happy with him. I just hot glued him on there and really, he took very well. And now I'll go and I'll look because like I said, I'd seen like on the back of his leg and on his back, he just needs like a real quick wet, coat of black. However, what I did notice which I tried so hard to remember not to do, I wanted to have him facing the latch. As you can see, not successful. You know when you try so hard to remember things, like when you go to the grocery store and you're going to pick up, I don't know, something that you need, an onion, and you really need that onion for dinner, or you can't do the dinner, and then you walk out of the store $100 later without your onion? Yeah, that's kind of like what I did on this. I thought so hard about it, and then I didn't do it, which I don't really care. It's just going to sit around. But I'm really loving how it came out. I love the little heart. Let's see if I can get it on there. It's like bright red, and then I did like a red extra fine glitter over top of it. And in person, it looks awesome. I'm going to try to take a picture and see if I can get a better shot than on here. But very happy. Very, very happy. So that's that. Okay. So that's done. Now, other question I got. What was the other question? Other question was tissue paper. Tissue paper on our mixed media piece. Okay, so I'm going to bring you back down here because there's no need to be seeing any of what I got to show. You know, if I just would clean up. So you go a little singing in there with me. Okay, so here's what we have so far. Okay, I got a piece of tissue paper. Doesn't matter what color. So what I'm going to do is set that aside. I'm going to crinkle this tissue paper. Now, if you are doing this, like sometimes I do things at night before I go to bed, I would wet it. I would crinkle it, wet it, squirt it with some water, and leave it sit here all night. When I wake up in the morning, I will uncrinkle it, and you will get a better form of crinkle. It just holds it better. Are we doing that today? No, I'm showing you right on what to do. Doesn't matter what color you use. And you can see everything's dry here. It's so much sturdier. It's awesome. My camera's not really working. Okay, so I thought we'll just throw a piece of the wrinkled tissue paper on here just so people can see. So then when we go to paint, you'll see you know, where we're at. So we'll just put right here. I just grabbed a brush. Probably not the best brush to use because it's not very big, but it's okay. I picked, you know, I just picked whatever. When you buy tissue paper at the dollar store, it's where like their birthday party section is. You get like a package of every color. You can also get them at AC Moore and Michael's, which I tend to buy. They have leopard and stuff, and I have all those too. But I buy from the dollar store all the time because, like I said, you can get... Now, you can add wrinkles too if you want by just taking your finger and kind of pushing up. And you'll see it'll bring up some wrinkles. So when we go to paint it, it'll grab that texture. Might rip a little bit, no big deal. I'll take another little piece, crumple it up a little bit more because it's smaller. Give it a nice squeeze. And I'm going to lay this down lighter, and you'll see what I mean. So I'm going to unroll it, but not flatten it out like I did. So you see how it is? It's just kind of, I'm going to put some glue here. And I'm just going to lay it down. Crepe paper, whatever it's called, can work. Now you see that difference of the texture there? And I'm just going to put some glue over it. This can be any color. It can be white because remember, we're going to go over it. It can be whatever color you have, whatever you have on hand. I have white stuff that comes on my shoes. When you buy new shoes, and it's even thicker than tissue paper, it don't matter. So that is the fun with the tissue paper. So let me show you. This is the one. Look at all that great texture will be picked up. Look at our dried fabric softener sheet. And that is the one that I wrinkled and just lightly laid down, did the glue over. Great. So that's what we look like so far. Awesome. Thrilled. Can't wait to get on to the next part. Next thing I want to show you guys, I've gotten a lot of questions about, what was it? Okay, 2 more things. One was drawing. Okay. So this is about doing the stencils. Now, if you have parchment paper, it's the best thing for you to use. This is quite a big piece, so I'm just going to fold it in half for me to use. A lot of people were asking about the stencils and stamps I was making with the glue gun. So I'm going to just show you a few more things. I'm using my smaller glue gun rather than my Big Aleene's one. I find my Big Aleene's one's better for attaching things and all. It is hard on my hands. I love it, but I like my little, what is it, AdTech high temp 10 watt little $4.99. So let's do something, let's do a heart. I'm using my craft mat, but you use, if you have wax paper or whatever you use that's non-stick, parchment paper works. So let's do a heart, and then let's go around the heart again. So we'll make, and you do good, like I said, go through a lot of glue. It's not the end of the world. Just kind of, but you want it to connect, and you're going to see what we're going to do next. Because remember, the fatter, the thicker, the better. But sometimes you can't get it that thick. And I'll attach it there. And attach it, you know, just attach it in different places. We're just adding more texture anyway. Okay. Now take your parchment paper, lay it on top, and press it down. Because we want to flatten it. We want it to be flat. And when you feel like you've flattened it enough, lift it up. And we'll give that a second. You got your little peepees that go off. Now you see all these great dots and all. You know, the more you do this, the better you'll get at it. I can see right here that it's very thin. So I'm going to just go over again with my gun, slower, right there. And right over top this one. Wherever I see it to be a little bit thinner. Because we do know the thicker lines make way better stamps and stencils. And that way it helps not throw it, it doesn't, take your parchment paper, push it down. It helps it not fall apart. Alright, so we'll just give that a second. And then let's think of another one to do. I'm just getting them a little real quick just to show you guys. So you see, obviously, the thicker the better. And like I said, I'm just going to give this another second. And it will, it's kind of like when we did this one. See how thick I poured it out when I did it? And this is a great stamp and a great, and you know, to spray, and it has a nice flat side that you can use to stamp, because the flat side that you pick up from here obviously will be what you'll stamp with, because it'll make it, you know, it's a nice flat stamp. So I'm just, all right, that feels good. This looks like it needs connected right here just a little bit. Gonna put a little bit of glue. You want these to last. I'll take my parchment paper, give it a little mush. Lift up my parchment paper. I mean, it's like you're doing, I mean, it's actually very therapeutic and fun. And the fun thing is, you can take, I usually have 1,000 of them here, and I don't. You know the plastic things you get in, here we go, that you get like in your stamps, these plastic things, you know, that hold on your stamps and all. So if you have like a drawing or something that you want to put underneath, you can follow that drawing on here and with your glue gun and all, and then make your own. Let me just see if the glue will come off of this. We'll just do a little dot just to test. It'll just sit here for a second. Okay, so now we're going to pull this up. Comes up like nothing. And we have a nice thick stamp. All right. Now, these are the stamps that I did on I did this on freezer paper because my brain was not correct. These still worked. Remember, we stamped them, we pushed them stamped. You still got a good stamp, but that, unfortunately, I thought it was parchment paper and grabbed the wrong one. Does that make you, you know, are you surprised? No. So let's do something else. Maybe you like, let's do a nice fat line. Remember, we're going to flatten it. Now, take if you don't like these bubbles and you want them straight, like, you know, just take your glue gun through it and make them straight. Do you know what I mean? And then we can do a line out, a line out, a line out, and then the glue stick. And we'll make them thicker. Is these glue, the only thing with these small glue, the cheaper glue guns is as they get older, they get, you have to like push the nozzle, or the trigger rather, like many times to get it to come out straight. So we'll just make sure those are thick. This one needs a little thicker, so we'll put it on a little thicker. And then I'm just going to go down. I don't know what design this is. I'm just going off the top of my head. Which we know is always fun with me. You just want to make sure everything kind of touches. You know, so when you go down here, you want to touch that, touch that. Make sure you get your glue, touch that. Give it a second too. And if you need to go over it again, go over it. Let's take our parchment paper, push it down. Pull it up. I can see here on the top it needs a little bit more connecting, so I'm just going to give a little ball on the top. Now you can be so creative. I mean, you guys out there, the stuff you guys show me is awesome. So you guys can be so creative. So we just let this dry for a minute, cool off rather. I just kind of run my hands around. Let's see how our plastic is doing on our plastic. Comes right off. My husband laughs at me because I literally save, I must have 3,000 of these. These come off of stamps. They come in packages. They're just like that little bit heavier plastic. So let's pull this up and look at that great stamp you got. And you have those little lines in there, and you could just take it with your heat gun real quick and it'll melt them away or pull them off. So let's try to do something, like I can show you what I mean. But see, that would mean I would have to be prepared. And if I'm not prepared, come on, really, Kel? Oh, you know what? Let's do this. Let's just do this. This is small, but it doesn't matter. You'll get the idea. This is a ghost. I just want the ghost figure. I got my, it's down on my, whatever you're going to do, put it down. Put your plastic over it. Hold your plastic. Go over your plastic with your glue gun. Get your shape. And fill it in. And the glue will like go down like fill in the little holes. Now because I'm blind, there's a bat. But just touch your gun over it, you know, so you can fill in any holes that are there. Because remember, you'll be using the side that's on the flat paper. So we're just going to leave that sit there. If I take it off, you can see it kind of has the ghost thing on there. So we'll just leave that dry. Put him back. And let's say we want to do a flower. So let me get another glue gun. This will be the last one of this, and then I'll go on to my last thing and show you guys. So we're going to do a flower. We're going to go 1, 2, glue gun go in, glue stick go in. I hate when glue sticks don't go in. There we go. 3, 4, 5. Okay, now you can see obviously it's not, would you quit sticking to me please? It's not. Okay. So, let's take the middle, and I'm not going to color in the middle. I'm just going to put the circle touching all of the petals in the middle. See how we did that? Why are you like way out in hell over there? Okay, there you see how we did that. So now let's go, and we're going to touch here, and we're going to go around. And let's make it funky. My glue gun sounds like me all crickety. And you make a touch. Now think of the flowers you can make, and like I said, you're making art with your glue gun, essentially. I could sit here all day and show you 1,000 things to do with it. I know we all don't have time for that. But I wanted to show a few more because people were so like excited and they're like, what else? What else? So I wanted to like kind of explain more. You can do anything. And you can take a coloring book and put the plastic over it. You know what I'm saying? Like you can do whatever you want. Just make sure you're touching. And I'm going to stop in a minute here. Yeah. Where is she? I don't know. Okay. Now, I'm going to take my paper and we'll flatten it down. I could sit here and do this all day. All day, I tell you. Now go back and double check real quick to make sure it's connected. I see some thin things here. I know I really don't dig the thin as much. There's only really one there. And I'll just push it down one more time. There's a ball in the middle that, well, and I touched the hot wax, which, why wouldn't I? I'll just push that down. Pick it back up. Okay. So glue gun, I'm going to move over here because, you know, I'll be touching all that when I'm doing the other stuff. Now, quickly, oh, I know what else I was going to do real quick with my glue gun. Wait, what did I do with my piece? I swear if I was organized. If I was organized. Here we are. I've got a couple suggestions of doing the glue over the item. This is the cat. I'll bring it up towards the camera in a second. I don't know why I'm so far. I think I moved my, when I was doing my skull, I kind of moved everything back. This will probably do better with a flat item. However, I'm just going to do it with this for now, just so we can see if the technique works. I was told after it solidifies, to when I'm ready to pop it out, to throw it in the freezer for a minute. So we shall. And then in another video, I'll pop it out and show you. So let me bring you down. That's another thing I didn't do. So that's just the cat. I have everything taped down here. So let's take this off. And look how cool that looks. It's like my camera's not, like, I don't know. So we have this, and we have this to play with. Homemade stamps and stencils. How do you go wrong? We have, it's supposed to be a ghost. It's the general idea that you're getting from this. It's done. I'm going to peel it off. Comes right off. I got me some sort of ghost. You know, or you can just use this and do different, you know, different things on it. All right, and then I'm going to let that solidify. So, why I did it right in the middle of what I'm doing, I have no idea. Let's find a piece of paper. I have like a whole list of stuff here. People were asking. I want to try to get done in one video, so I don't know what kind of paper this is, though. Let me see if I can grab a piece of printer paper. Out of the garbage. All right. So let's do our stamps real quick. I'm going to have to work around the cat because my brain did not work correctly today. So today we're going to do a stamp on this one. And we'll just use some StazOn. You can use whatever kind of ink you want. If you want an ink, this is the flat side that we peeled off. If you want an ink or use paint, you can definitely do that. If you want an ink that's water, you know, water safe, archival, or appropriate for plastic, metal, glass, ceramic, laminated paper, coated paper, leather, not recommended for fabric. It's a solvent ink is what it is. StazOn. Ranger has archival ink. There's Memento. They don't smear when you go to color. If you have those. If you have regular ones, which I have many of, use those. It doesn't matter. So here goes our first stamp. And I didn't take all the little papers off, but you can see I generally have ink on it. We're going to lay it down. We're going to push. If you don't want to push, use your brayer. And look how cool. My God, my stamp collection is growing by the minute. Look how cool. And I didn't even ink it up all that well. So that's the one we made. How cool is that? Boy, I got a lot of new stamps that I made just from my glue. All right, we're going to do our heart. And I'm not fully, like, I'm not making sure I get every little part like I would if I was doing something. I'm going to use these actually in my mixed media for beginners. So if you guys make any, you can use them too. I'm going to use a bunch of both. So this is our heart. And let's take it down here. Lay it down. Push it. Lift it up. Look how cool! So exciting. And so exciting. Okay, so we know that works. That's our heart. Very, very cool. Look how cool so far. Those are the two. We just made homemade stamps, bitches. Yeah, that's not very nice. I'm sorry. Really, I'm the bitch. All right, that's still sticky, so I can't move that. Let's do our flower, shall we? Stamp, 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 stamp. And I'm only using the ink right now because it's easier on camera than to get out my paints. But you definitely can use paint. Just like a stamp or a stencil. And I will show you these as a stencil very quickly. I'll just put them all down and do it once just so you can see. Here goes our flower. Here goes me pushing. You want to make sure you get it everywhere. And you can use either side. I use the flat side, obviously, because it's flat. Look how cool. And like I said, again, that's me not putting, you know, putting all the ink on, making sure I get it everywhere. But look at that cool design. Now let's see what Baby Ghost will do for us. It's probably going to make a blob. But you get the idea that whatever you put underneath that plastic, you can just copy over. Look how cute. It's a blob, I get it, but you can take these around and make petals and make a flower. You know, if you were doing it better than I am right now. But I mean, so there's, you know, there's things you can do. Use your imagination. So we got those. That's awesome. Let me close my ink because I'm good for leaving it open and ending it with all over me. Let's do our last piece. Wow, so we just made some really cool things. We have our flower. We have our heart. And we have our... I don't exactly know what shape that is. Let's move this back a second. Let's get our spray. Let me see if I can pick this up to move it. Yeah. So I'm going to just set this there and put it in the freezer later to unveil it. I'm going to shake my spray. Or you know what? I'm going to use my homemade acrylic spray that we made yesterday. Now you can see there's little lines in there of where the little pieces of glue are. And you can go in very quickly with your glue gun. I'm talking very quickly so you don't alter your piece. And it will kind of burn those away. If they don't bother you, don't worry about them. You know, but you might see them when you stamp, and if you don't care, who cares? I don't care, you don't care, who cares? Just give that a second to dry. Alright, so this is the stuff we made yesterday. Remember, with our teal acrylic paint from Folk Art and water. And that's what we put in here. Now, something else you can also do, somebody asked me, and you definitely can do that, is put in a squirt, just a little drop or two of your Elmer's white school glue in your homemade stuff. Helps it stick. You can also put in an iridescent medium that you can buy from Folk Art. You can put in, if you do blue and you have blue glitter paint, you can do that. You can put in a little bit of Mod Podge, you know, anything to that effect if you want. I've been using this morning, so I'm almost empty. Alright, so you know I like to give it a second to... It's because I'm almost empty. I really have been using it. And I didn't make that much, but this morning I was doing something. I was like, oh. Okay. Alright, that's probably going to be cleaned out and ready for another color. So I like to leave it sit for a moment. You don't have to. I like to. Now let's say you have a piece of paper. one of these. And you want to kind of, you know, you don't want to waste that. Set it on top very lightly and press. So you can get up that paint from those stamps. Just to push on the stamps. I love how these came out. I'm like peeing my pants in the excitement. You just can't see it. But then look, see, on a different piece of paper, you got a start of a mixed media piece. So how cool is that? I know, very cool. You ain't gotta tell me. Now remember, this is just printer paper, so I see it soaked through a lot, which that happens with printer paper. But you get the idea. Look how cool. Now this is printer paper, so you know it's everything soaks through. I don't know if I have, because I really want to show you, and I don't want you guys to, you know I get obsessive because I like things to show the way they're supposed to. And I was almost out of that. Just give me a chance here. One more chance, please. Okay, we'll be real quick. This must be a photo piece of paper. But I'm not going to wait. Because obviously glossy paper does not soak in. Which is great, but there you go. So you see how great that looks? Now I'll set this aside. If I have any more paper sitting aside, I swear to gosh. But I'll set that one aside because that's a new piece, and I'll let that dry. And now I'm just going to wipe these off. I'm not even going to put them on a new piece. I'm just going to give them a quick wipe. These are great because you can just put these right in the sink in cold water and rinse them off. And you got your stamps back. So I hope that answered those questions. I got about 5 questions on these. And I hope that helped. You know, I did put them on wax paper, and you shouldn't unless you use the non-waxy side. And I, of course, on the one used the waxy side when I thought I grabbed the parchment paper, but it was wax paper. But hey, we all make mistakes. So I wanted to show we got some really beautiful, now we got beautiful stamps and stencils made from home with glue sticks that are so inexpensive. A cheap $4.99 glue gun. And, I mean, I got all these great... Look, I mean, I got all these great stencils now. And stamps. Stencils and stamps. So, all these fun things to play with. And I just made these in 2 days. I probably saved myself 50 bucks. Okay, so. That's that. I'm trying. I know. Am I killing y'all? Because I'm taking forever. Because I'm trying to get to all the questions, at least in this batch. I have more questions to answer, but I had like certain ones I was going to do. Second thing was, this is the second to the last thing, and then I promise, I really do. Okay, this is paint, turquoise paint that was in here, the spray. It can be regular paint, it can be whatever, acrylic paint, watercolor paint, whatever. This is rubber cement. This is from Elmer's. It's Craft Bond acid-free photo set, safe, no wrinkle. I don't know if it makes a difference. You can buy it at the dollar store too. It really doesn't make a difference. So somebody asked me about masking and all. With watercolor painting, there's a lot of masking. I do it sometimes in my acrylic painting when I'm painting a canvas or whatever. So what I did was I put a coat down, let it dry, and then I just put some of the Elmer's rubber cement on there. So let's hope it's dry all the way. And I'm going to put some purple. Just a line of purple. I'm not going to go all crazy out. Just to go around it and over it so you guys can see. I hope it's dry all the way. Let's hope. And this is just regular acrylic paint. And I'm just going to go over it. Probably could have let dry a minute longer, but it's okay. And let's pretend, you know. Okay. So, while I do the next, I'm not going to do that because it'll melt out. Once I do the next thing, and then I'll come back to this and then we'll peel off and I'll show you that. The last thing is, oh, that's not it. Somebody asked me, okay. This, the doll, the face I did. Somebody asked me a question. They were having problems doing this, the round part. So let me just show you something. The way I learned, the way I did it. It's going to be upside down, but it's okay. The way I learned to do it is get a, that might be too small. Get a round bottle. I'm going to use my gesso bottle. You can use whatever you have, a jar, you know, get a jar out of your cabinet. If you have one of those circle makers, whatever, and you want to follow around this. And you want to make a round circle. I'm going to move in a little bit and just get you. Okay, so you have your round circle. Now, what you're going to do is, God forbid if I could find my thing. I don't know if this is a... Okay, so what you're going to do is you have your round circle, and we're going to go a little bit below halfways. And just do a line going across, okay? And then, so you're kind of doing it in fours. But you want this to be a little bit lower than half. And what you're going to do is you're going to go, now you can do different kind of eyes. I do the eyes that are like this. That are like more almond shaped, right? You don't have to. You can do a straight line. So let's kind of mark here and here is where we're not going to go past as far as where our eyes touch. Now, some people will do their eyes over here and make them very big. So we can go and give her very big eyes. Okay, and we can do the same thing over here. And you just bring it to the corner. Now you can see that I made the bottom one a little lumpier than the top one, blah, blah, blah. Just do your eyes. We'll worry about fixing them later. I just want to show you the general. I think it's that I got to change my camera angle. Because when I lean like this, I'm blocking where all the good light's coming from. So I'm going to try to stay back here. So now we're going to go right here. And we're just going to do our little nose. Okay, and then you still have her line going down. So you just kind of do like a long M. Bring the line in, so you touch, and then do her lip. You want to do a fancier lip? Just go up and down, like she doesn't have to be perfect. She can do a Betty Boop lip. Well, you don't want to scribble it on like that. You know, or you can make her bottom lip even smaller. So she has a small bottom lip. All right. And then you have her lips. When you go for her eyes, we're going to do basically the same thing. Now, some people don't like to do, I like to do the eyelids first. You don't have to. you can take and just do, if you have the tool that I told you about, which I'm going to find today and show you guys in one of my videos, but you can just go in the middle of her eye and make a big circle. Okay, make your circle. I go around a couple times so I get a better circle. And then come over here and do the circle. And do the circle. Then people will go in and do the eyelid. So this is another way you guys can do this. Now I'm doing this very quickly, so forgive me, but it gives you the idea. Okay, now we'll go in and we'll erase that big circle, the rest of that eyeball that we really don't want. And then you just go back and kind of fix where you accidentally erased. Okay. Again, a little bit faster than I want to be. So now that we have her eyes in, now you'll do her pupils. And her pupils will be as big or as small as you want them. Now in this case, I'm going to make them a little bit bigger than they normally would be. Okay, you see how we're going? We got our lips, we got that. We can then erase her little cross that we have going on in there, all them extra little lines. You know, remember, erasing is not a sin. You know, and you can go back and clean up whatever you want to do. You can then add her little eyebrows, however you want. This is just the folky art doll, okay? And then her little hair can go down. So this is definitely another way to do it. I did the way, you can break your lead. I did it the other way just because. Now this is the top of her head that we drew with the circle, which will not be the top of her hair because all of our hair goes above our head. So then we'll just kind of take this out more and bring this down so it meets that, so it meets that. We're going to give her neck. Now her neck can be thicker or thinner. I didn't really erase all that lines all there, but you get the point. Now here's a thicker neck, okay, or depending on how big or small you make the face, or whatever your mood is, or whatever your look you're looking for, you can make her, oh my God. I hate when you erase, and the mechanical pencils are my favorite thing, but I hate when they come out the lead when you erase. Or you can just make her have a very thin neck. And look how that's different. So then you would go in and you would, you know, color her pupils. And I'm going to color one of these dolls. We'll see. And then you have this cute little petite doll. Well, that petite doll, I'm sorry, that's Susie's name for her dolls. This is just a folk art face for me. I was very blessed. Susie taught me how to do the petite dolls and get my own style years and years ago. But, you know, they're called folk art faces. But that's kind of what basically it is. Obviously, hers are much better than mine. However, now, so that is that. Now, if you don't want the rounded eye, which a lot of people, so we're going to erase that roundness. And we're going to come in and we're going to do it flat. And you see the difference? I'm making it darker so you can. And you have a rounder eye. And then here's her. eyeballs. I mean, there are 1,000 different ways. You can combine all of the ways. Let me just kind of show you up close, you know? And if you don't like that line there, a lot of people just kind of leave it hang out and just do the line. I mean, you sit and play. You get your style. So those are some different ways to get great looks on a folk art doll. So, you know, I wanted to show you that. People had been asking. This is way longer than I wanted to show you. But again, I wanted to go over all the questions, those questions I had specifically wanted to do. So far, so fun, so good. If you guys are drawing these faces, let me know. I'd love to see them. You guys are making me feel like $1 million. I have had the shittiest past few months. And you guys doing the skulls and the mixed media and the, like, everything you guys are doing with me. I mean, you're blowing me away. You are making me, I mean, you're making my bad days so much better. And I want to give a shout out to Angie. Angie, I think it's Lupus Life. I think that's her. She has a couple channels. I just want to give a shout out to Angie and send her my love and send her positive energy and love and all that kind of stuff. So, you know, I just have the greatest viewers, and I worry about you guys, and I do, you know, I do try to, again, I'm going to let you know, I'm trying to answer everybody's comments and messages, and this Google, YouTube is driving me insane. So any questions, let me know. This is where we're heading. We are getting ready to stamp and play on our mixed media paper this week after we get this next layer on, so make sure you see the latest video on that. And I hope you guys have a fantastic day, and be kind to each other, because you never ever know what battle somebody else is fighting. And as strong as a face as most people put on, everybody goes through something. And just be kind to each other. Don't be mean. Don't be mean to each other. I hate it. Hate it, hate it, hate it. I know that's strange coming from me, who is a fighter at heart and have fought for many years, and somebody look at me wrong or write something. I just don't live that way anymore. I just ignore it. I just want peace for everybody. So it's hard enough life without having to fight to exist or fight to do stuff you love. So thank you guys again for being awesome. If you haven't applied for the put your name in for the contest I'm having for mixed media products, please do so. It's a few videos down. It's the giveaway. And tomorrow the giveaway goes up for Amazing Clear Cast and Amazing Mold Putty. So look for that. And I hope you guys have a great day. Bye, guys.